Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I am going to be doing another simple acrylic pour, very beginner level, but I'm going to be using different materials today. So I just laid down my golden fluid acrylics, so I am using that as my medium today with some pour medium and a little bit of silicone. The colors that I'm using today are titanium white for my base, and then my three colors that I'm choosing to use are quinacridone magenta, phthalo blue, and ultramarine blue. So I've got two different blues and my magenta in there, and I think that would be a really pretty combo. And I say beginner level because I am a beginner at this, so if I can do this, another beginner can do this, as long as you have materials. They don't necessarily have to be these ones. This is what I happen to have on hand, but let's see what we can do. So right now I've just poured my paint and my pouring medium together, and I am using my trusty chopsticks to go ahead and stir them together. And for the colored paints, just one drop of silicone each, and that will help with the separation of the paints when they run in together. And so I have already stirred my white, and now I am stirring my magenta, and then I'm going to go with my two blues. And I did speed up this part just a little bit because maybe it is just not as exciting to watch someone stir paint. And I also tend to forget when I'm painting where my camera is. Someone's a newbie here. And so I also tend to stir half off camera sometimes. So sorry about that. So just finishing stirring those blues together. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take my white and lay it on the canvas. And you'll see it pours nicely. Kind of makes a nice big puddle. And I should say for the fluid acrylics, they say about 2 parts paint to 1 part pouring medium. I don't have a measuring cup for paint, so I kind of just wing it. And we'll see how it turns out. So I'm just moving that paint around, and then when it looks like it's getting a little bit stuck, I use my palette knife to just move that paint over. And again, we want the paint to cover all of the canvas, get all the little nooks and crannies and grooves in the canvas, that teeth that it has, and then also smooth it so that way it has like a nice smooth surface, so the other paints can just glide over it and mix with each other instead of get stuck on the canvas. I'm just smoothing that out, and so anywhere I see like there might still be a hole or a gap, I have to fill that in because the paint will get stuck on areas sometimes. And then kind of smoothing out those sides where some of the paint spilled over. All right. Yep, and see, there's one of those holes that I mentioned. It was like an air pocket. So just smooth that out. And then now to the fun part. So my first color that I'm going to grab is my quinacridone magenta. And I'm just going to pour it out. Nice straight line. And then I'm taking one of my blues, going on one side of the magenta, and then the other blue on the other side. And then this is where I'm getting really brave. What I am doing off camera is I'm getting my hairdryer. I don't even use my hairdryer for my hair, so hey, why not use it for creative art? So I am plugging that in, and you will see me in a moment come in with the hairdryer. And try not to blow stuff off my desk too. But the air is great because it's pushing the paint around. I've seen that on other tutorials, so I thought, hey, why not try that? And learn from my mistake. Make sure that your paper cups that now have little to no paint in them, that you move them so that way they're not blowing off the desk. Oh, bye blue. Okay, luckily it didn't have much paint in it. And remember where I said try to make sure that the paint is smooth everywhere? On that part, I noticed that the paint was catching just a little bit, so I added a little bit more of the blue there. I also thought maybe I could use a little bit more white in the middle of those colors because it's very deep with the magenta and the mix of the two blues in the middle. So I am right now mixing a little bit more of the titanium white and the pouring medium. And I did want to say I'm using the Liquitex pouring medium with, again, the golden fluid acrylic paints. And then I'm stirring that, I believe, off camera, of course. And then once that is nice and ready, I will pour that into the places. There we go. And again, as long as the paint is still wet, you can do that and it will still blend in with the other colors nicely. And so here, I just decided to go ahead and tilt my canvas because the edge of the canvas didn't have as much paint on that side. And so I wanted to move the paint over and then kind of move it around the canvas. So tilt it this way and that. And you can see the nice flow of the paints in the different directions that I'm tilting it. And then as the paint is settling, it's making these nice, fun cells when the paints mix together. That's those little holes kind of looking. They're awesome. I'm putting the paint on the sides of the canvas too. So that way, even if you see the canvas up on the wall, the sides also have paint on them as well, rather than just random, what do you call those, droplets just here and there. So that way there's paint consistently on all four sides. And I just figured might as well use my finger. And so just smoothing that on there. Here is the final, and you'll see there's a little addition there. So word to the wise, even when you think it's dry, give it a little bit more time, because I touched the surface and sure enough it was wet and I made like a little divot, and then I had to kind of correct that divot. So I had to add a little streak of white after the fact to try to mix it well with the painting. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day or evening, and be sure to like and subscribe. Bye.